Welcome back, everyone. Well, I learned shortly after our last recording that sometimes, I won't say life isn't fair, but sometimes life throws the same curveball at you, and how you thought you handled it the first time and would prevent against it first time is not actually how you could prevent it the second time. So, after making sure I saved multiple times during our last episode, before and after, and double checking that I did so, I then checked up on our save right before I was about to record, and somehow I was yet again in the Safari Zone, right at the gate. And my party did not include our friend Eggbomb or our friend Eggbomb 2, Eggbomb the second. So instead, we now have Eggbomb the third. I went back, caught yet another execute, trained that execute up again on Cycling Road, leveled it up until it learned Leech Seed, took it to get a Leaf Stone, made my way all the way back through Silphco, and now here we are. Our team might be slightly different leveled, but around the same level. I have also ensured that I now understand what I think the issue was with our save files, and I believe I've stopped that from happening again. So with this, we will move forward. And I believe what we're going to do next is tackle Saffron City, the remaining portions of Saffron City. I want to do this because I think we can... I want to take a bit more of a linear path. So as you can see, the Team Rocket is gone, and the gym is now open. But first I want to go to the Fighting Dojo, which is a place we didn't go last time. I'm going to still lead with Meowie here. There are a good number of fights, and I want to make sure that our team stays equally leveled. Plus, Meowie is, I think, going to be used pretty heavily in this next little bit. And for what feels like the millionth time, I will say it again, that a fighting type is not that strong in this generation, or at least the moves aren't. We will take that. As you can tell, I'm trying not to be a little dejected about the playthroughs. I think I was over it, but then re-explaining it sort of made me feel a little down. But look, the good thing is I've been able to spend the time to rebuild everything, and I've tested it a few different ways. I think we're good. I think I understood what the issue has been. So I think we're all good. And I think I've made essentially what I realized was I don't know why the one save was stuck. I don't know what was causing that. What I was able to do was I was able to make a hard save, and through my 3DS essentially take that save off of there and save an external copy just for backup. And I think I'm going to keep doing that just to be safe. Okay, and now we can switch Meowie out, put Booster in. Yeah, this Machoke sprite is really not that great. A little peek behind the curtain here. I spent a lot of time today recorded. It's nighttime now, but I pretty much recorded everything from when we left Erica's gym to now. And I did a lot of the recording in the morning, and then it's now nighttime. and I'm recording per usual at night. And one thing that oh, Meowie's evolving. He said he wants to stay at Meow for right now. Anyway, what I was saying was, I gotta say, despite the issues with the save files, I'm really pretty happy with the progress we made today. It's gonna be downhill from here. We're really entering the late game. Now we're starting to enter what I consider the late game. Once we get past these gyms and make it to start heading to Cinnabar Island. But anyway, while I was talking about the setup for today was, like I said, despite all of that, still being able to make progress, bring everything back, has been good. I do think it would have been a little bit hard to start back up if I was facing the daunting task of going back through Self-Co again. So I am very happy with that. Alright, defeated Black Belt. Oh, and now, finally, after all this time, our starter is evolving into the big man himself. Welcome to the team, Big Man Blastoise. So anyway, oh wow, and Blastoise looking pretty good down there. But yeah, so we've made some really solid progress, and as I was saying, despite being able to record a lot through today, it really was the first nice day in Philadelphia today. I think winter's starting to turn the corner, and so I was able to get outside a little bit, living a nice, relaxing day. Okay. Earthquake might be a little overkill on this Mankey, but, I'm not going to take it for granted. Especially now when we've got some pretty tough fights ahead. Alright. Yeah, I'm glad that Mama gets Earthquake. They really change when you can get a lot of the super strong moves, like, Earthquake and Ice Beam, Thunderbolt. Your Gen 1 is one of the gens where it's really spread out. Here, we haven't even seen Ice Beam yet. But we already have Earthquake, we got Thunderbolt super early. Flamethrower isn't even available. Here's the Karate Master. So he's the leader of the dojo here. And we can pick one of his Pokemon after we beat him up. Let's see if 2 Earthquakes will do it. But yeah, so I forgot that Earthquake was in Silph-Co, which, to get a powerful move like Earthquake in what I consider like the mid-game is pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting it, so... Now, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are not really great in this game. They don't get access to really great moves, which I think is part of their problem. Like Hitmonchan here, Sprite I think looks awesome. But Hitmonchan doesn't actually have any fighting moves. He only has Comet Punch, Mega Punch, which are both normal, Fire Punch, which is a fire type move, and then Agility. So there's really, you know, I really wouldn't recommend using them in this game. Plus they're so late that it doesn't really, it's not really worth it. But if you like either one of them, you can win the game. You can beat the game with any Pokemon. Alright, let's see whichever one we like. Let's move our team around a bit. And then... maybe, you know what, let's take Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan. Yeah, let's take him. And like everyone else who gets a Hitmonchan and nicknames it, you gotta name it Jackie. Okay. So now we can go into the gym. Yeah, let's go in and fight a few of the gym trainers here. So again, only bug-type attacks deal super effective damage here, but you want to do physical attacking because a lot of them just have high special. This gym is based on a series of warp panels here. And I think this is, yeah, fighting type are weak. I'm glad that this guy got back. He wasn't fired. So you don't have to be too worried about that. But, so you want to, there is an order that you can step on all of the tiles. I tend to like to try and fight everyone in the gym. There are 6 trainers, aside from Sabrina. Now there are ways that you can minimize the number of steps to Sabrina. I tend to go either always in like a clockwise, counterclockwise way to make sure that I just hit them in order. Try and get all the gym, or try and get all the trainers. But we'll see, you know. I've never really counted to make sure that you get all of them. Okay, well now let's see what Payday can do. I might have to switch Meowie out though. Yeah, you know, I don't really feel like dealing with this. And we have a Nuke here, who's not going to be affected by any of their moves. Oh, and that's why we have Mac on our team. Yeah, let's not play around here. Wow, that Slowbro sprite really adds a lot to the lore of them evolving based on a Shelder biting his tail. That really puts it front and center that that's what's going on. Alright, so that's 1 out of 6. Let's see if we can fight everyone in the gym. And let's go clockwise here. So I think we've gotten the 2 bottom corners of the gym. Oh, okay, let's... You know what? Let's switch to Mama. Really, our ground moves are those are the only physical moves that are gonna do anything against a ghost type. And look, it's gonna be super effective, so I won't be upset with that. Maybe we'll put Blastoise in. Yeah, get rid of this confusion. Alright, let's see Squirt for the first time as a Blastoise back sprite. Not bad. Could be worse, but not bad. Kind of looks like a big teddy bear from the back. But I guess Blastoise kind of looks like a teddy bear. What's more interesting is how Blastoise is so rotund in this game. Yeah, and let's get Mama a bit more. Let's not play around with Haunter here. We want full stab Earthquake. Well. Okay. Well, who said we wanted it to be quick and easy, huh? Okay, we'll take it. Man. You know, Nightshade is tough. It does, again, it does the exact same damage as the user's level. It's never super effective, no stab buffs, but it's not until you get to, like, really stack an HP that it doesn't do a solid amount, or solid dent at least, in your team. Alright, so now we're right above the room that we were just in. So this will be 3 out of 6 trainers. Okay, and let's switch to Squirt. Please do not use Hypnosis, and if you do, don't land. Okay. That was interesting. Huh. I wonder if it's pre-programmed to use Dream Eater if it uses Hypnosis. That's interesting. I would not have expected that. Okay. Yeah, and I think we're now, again, just right above where we were before. Yeah, so maybe clockwise is the way to go. I don't know why the Psychic Trainer is in a lab coat here. I don't know what they're trying to get at. Let's see if Meowie can tank this. You know what, we want the experience, so let's hope Matt can tank it. Or something. That does absolutely nothing to us. Thank you, though. This is what I'm worried about. Maybe Mac has better defense than I'm thinking. I thought Mac was more of a glass cannon, but... yeah... Alright, let's... Okay, now we're at Sabrina. We don't want to do that. So let's go up here. So this will be 5 out of 6. And then we can just keep going around and see, how we just get to that last trainer. I think Kadabra should go down. Yeah, Kadabra is a real class cannon. You know, I was gonna say, we probably don't want to use Mac, but unless it's a water type here. I remember having issues getting to that last trainer before, so I won't keep y'all too long trying to get to that, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, and now it's boosting time, I think. Booster is in need of something else. Oof, that hurts. Oh, alright. Yeah, Booster could use Strength or some other move to make its attack stronger. I don't really want to make Booster just a specialty for just when you need a fire type. I mean, it's worth it. We definitely need a fire type. There's no good fire TMs in this game. I like Fire Blast. It's awesome. It's probably the coolest animation in the game. And I'm sad that we're not going to be using it right now. Yeah, Meowth actually told me he doesn't want to evolve right now. Maybe in the future. But yeah, I don't know. We definitely need a fire type, I think. But yeah, Booster, I think Strength is going to be where Booster gets at least one more punch to his arsenal. Oh, we didn't fight this guy. Oh, you know, there are 7 trainers in here. My math could be better, it seems. Okay, so let's see what Quick Attack can do against Mr. Mime. Okay, that's good. We'll take that. And then we'll switch Booster out. Probably. Oh, no, actually. I think we can kill it with a Quick Attack. Let's hope. Oh. Maybe we'll get a critical hit. Or we might just kill Booster. Actually, if it keeps going for Recover, maybe now we might actually knock it out. Oh, nice. Alright, way to go, Booster. That was well earned. I can't believe Tail Whip at level 37. That's... I mean, what were the developers thinking there? That's not great. That should be Flamethrower. But it's okay. We'll make do. Now we just need one more. Okay, let's see. Let's jump up to this warp panel. Maybe get to this one. Okay, no. This goes to Sabrina, right? Oh, no, here we go. Okay, nice. I wonder if we can dig out of here, and if we can, then maybe we go heal, and then we can get to Sabrina. This was a nice little bit of training, though, right before we get to the gym. Oh, great. 2 digs right here. Don't love that. Okay, let's see. At least it wasn't confused, right? That's tough with dig, man. You gotta avoid it twice. Alright. Now, let's go backward. Oh. Alright, let's just use dig. Alright. And I won't pause. I'll just let you see how the sausage is made on all these heals. It's very interesting. We come here, we heal, And then we try to remember where we left off, so that way we don't give you a headache, and we go forward. It's really not that much. Alright, to get to Sabrina, though, we're going to want to take that first warp panel, and then go to the northwest, the southwest, and southwest. And here's Sabrina. Okay, we want to hit her with the highest base attack we can with first, which 72 is not bad. 80 for Executor, but Executor is a special attacker, really, or our moves. 58. 85 attack from Mac. Mac has really great attack. And 112 for booster. But you know what I think we're going to do? We want Stab Earthquake up front, I think, for the Kadabra that's going to lead off. I think that's going to be our hardest hitting physical move. And this is as long as we can go first. If not, it's going to be interesting. Maybe then it's Meowie time. Well, it was nice knowing you, Mama. Sorry. Yeah. It's about what I expected. Okay. Let's see what Meowie can do. Okay, I'll take that. And I will take that. Okay. So, now with Mr. Mime coming up, right? Let's keep Meowie in. Alright? Oh, nice. Alright, let's so Meowie can take this. Wow. Who would have thought of Meowth taking down two Sabrinas? Guys, alright, Venomoth. Yeah, we're going to want that to be Booster. Let's at least hope that Booster can do some stuff here. Yeah, you had to figure that's coming, but that's actually probably what we want. We want as much health as possible, I think, against Alakazam. So let's quick attack here, hope it takes it out. Great. And I think we're going to keep Booster in for Alakazam. Let's see. Alright, well this is one of the scariest Pokemon in the entire game. Let's do a quick attack. Alright. Booster, let's see if you can hold on here. Oh, yes! What were we even worried about? Oh, maybe this. Okay, maybe that's what we were worried about. Oh, yes! Booster! Yo, Booster, man, he does nothing but destroy hard battles. Awesome. TM 46. Now this is Recover, I believe. Oh, it's Sidewave. Well, we already have Psychic, so we don't need that. Alright, let's go back and let's heal. And then we can move on with our journey. So the next thing I want to do is head down on the eastern seaboard to get toward back to Fuchsia. So that's toward, Route 12, etc. Wow, Booster and Meowie, who would have thought the two of them? Let's see if we... Alright, these guys... Oh, no one really leveled up during that gym battle. Huh, alright. Well, we'll just continue on our way. Who's on our lead? Alright, Squirt can do some solid damage here. You know what? Let's pause until we get... No, you know what? Let's use the bicycle. I'm not going to fast forward through our journey back. Everyone wants to see that. So we're going to start up in Lavender Town and make our way down. All the way from the top. Which, funny enough, you really can do. It's going to be a lot of interesting trainers here. A lot of water types. Yeah. A lot of water types we're going to be running into for the first time. This area is actually known as Silence Bridge. Well, it was up above, I believe, was Silence Bridge. Would have thought Dig would, or Bite would have taken it out, but I guess we need Dig. Can we use Surf now, or do we have to wait for Koga? Technically, we did this battle out of order. It's supposed to be Sabrina first, or Koga first, and then Sabrina. Now, this was really confusing as a kid, because when you go into your profile, I'll show after this battle, we got really lucky there. Okay, so we beat the fisherman here, but I'll show you. When you go into your profile, you see it shows Koga as the 5th gym leader, and we have the 6th badge, which is fine. Let's see if we can use... Yeah, we still need Koga's badge. Okay. Well, that's fine. So, anyway, but you can really do them in any order. You can actually, I think, save Lieutenant Surge for one of the last gym leaders, funny enough. I've never done it that way, but there's really you could really do the gyms in any order, I think, after you leave the SSN. What is curious, though, about that, well, what I'll say is, the reason why it was really confusing as a kid is because in the anime, after Surge, they fight Sabrina as the 4th gym leader, which you'd have to go, I think, pretty far out of your way to skip Erica. I mean, it's not impossible, but that never really made sense to me, that you would go right to Saffron, or that you would go through Celadon, not take on Erica, and go to Sabrina. But, like I said, you can do it one way or another. We've already been to Fuchsia, we could have taken on Koga. This is really one of the first playthroughs where I've done it in that choppy sort of way that we have. You'll also note that we don't have a flyer on our team right now. Yeah, it would have been nice to have someone who could fly, but I just figured we would probably... I didn't want to build my team around a flyer, and I just decided that I can always pause the recording. I don't like being taken by surprise. I want to take by surprise. Again, Poliwag, such a fetching sprite. Very nice. Oh, another... Should we put... You know what? Let's see what Egg Bomb can do. First time Egg Bomb the Third is entering our playthrough. Let's hope we don't have Egg Bomb the Fourth. This will be a great place, though, for Egg Bomb the Third to train. And now we actually don't have to worry about where we put the space between Egg, Bomb, or Third. We don't have any room. So it just has to be one strand all across. Okay. It's not easy. No, for us it's been pretty easy though, I would say, of late. Aside from technical difficulties. Okay. Alright, now we're going to face Snorlax. I'm going to save right before this Snorlax. Now we can use the Poke Flute. Again. These are the only two Snorlax in the game. So if you want a Snorlax, you better make sure you catch one of them. I don't think we're going to be using Snorlax in this playthrough, though. One, we already have Meowie, who's better, and two, this guy attacks in a grumpy rage. That's not exactly what I want. Let's use Psychic before he lays an Amnesia down. Great. You return to the mountains. Okay. In Gen 3, you actually, if you check there will be leftovers standing behind. What did I say about not being taken by surprise? By a rocker? A rocker with a whip? So many of these guys have whips. What is this? Oh. Alright, Egg Bomb. Nice. They must have really nerfed it, or maybe our defense is just that good. Yeah, I imagine a Screech and then laying down Explosion is pretty good. I saw something where Explosion halves your defense too, or self-destruct. Unplugged. Yeah. I don't know, I'd have to confirm that. And this here is our final fishing guru. He will give you the Super Rod. So technically you can get the Super Rod after saving Mr. Fuji. Because you just need it to get past Snorlax. We can't get in there because we don't have True Friend with us. But maybe one day we'll bring him back and we'll get the item there. Alright, let's have Egg Bomb use Psychic here. Egg Bomb III is going to be a really pivotal part of our playthrough, or of our upcoming gym battle for sure. Because as you can see from how he's handling these poison types, Psychic is super effective against poison. The only main concern though is that grass is weak to poison, so we'll have to just be careful about the damage taken. However, I think Egg Bomb III can tank a good amount of that. Alright, now we're back to everyone on the same level rotation. Yeah, I can't get through there, but we can talk to this trainer. So this all here has been Route 12. Similar to the cycling road, either of them are optional here. We could have just flown back to Fuchsia and never done this portion. I think it's worth seeing. I also think it's worth doing and getting the experience. Ooh, Meowth gets a bad amount of experience. I hope you can see from the Sabrina battle why that one is so difficult in a Nuzlocke. If you don't have great walls, it really can. You're probably going to lose a Pokemon or two. I certainly have lost Pokemon to Sabrina in a Nuzlocke before. Remember in my Let's Go Eevee Nuzlocke, I trained up, I got my Beedrill. It was actually a weird rule that I did. Well, I'll start by saying Beedrill ended up dying and did not do much, despite how I thought Beedrill might perform. That's nothing to say about Beedrill, it's just how strong our Pokemon are. Will Meowth evolve? He told me he wants to stay in Meowth for just a little bit more. So anyway, that playthrough was really interesting. It was one with the experience share playthrough, and they did some interesting moves where based on, I think, like the letter of your first and last name that determined the two types you could have in the game. But then there were also some other rules that played in, so it wasn't exactly lined up. I think I got normal and psychic, which was interesting. But I ended up, I don't know, I think that somehow I was able to get a bug. It was just, I forget the entire rules. I'd have to look them up or listen to the podcast again for it. Okay, Bird Keeper goes down. This is how you can tell we finally hit Route 13, because we're no longer facing all fishermen. Another junior trainer. She has a gold... Oh, no, I thought she had... Oh, that was the last one. She starts off with Pidgey, which is great for us considering we have Mac out. I think Meowth is going to be able to solo this team. Hate to do it to a Meowth. At least it's no Meowth on Meowth violence here. Later at night, when I'm recording, I like to sit here with a mug of Throat Coat tea. Not a sponsor. Maybe one day, but I find that it does help keep my voice calm, especially after a long day of working or, maybe not staying hydrated. It really helps without making my voice go hoarse. Oh man, another Meowth. She's tugging at my heartstrings here. Okay. I started listening back through some of the footage of other recordings that I've done for this playthrough, and I do think it's funny. I can hear the clicking of the controller sometimes. But hey, like I said, we are using a real modded Nintendo Entertainment System controller, and I think that's cool. I also think it's cool to just blast through these guys like this. We could speed all this up, but I don't think that's fun. You know, I want the full experience. You can speed it up on YouTube. You know, if that's how you're watching this, you can put me on 2x speed, but I like to just play this through on normal mode. I will say my replay of Silph-Co, I may have sped that up a little bit, because I didn't want to spend another hour and 12 minutes in Silph-Co, especially when I still had to then catch more Pokemon and, you know, get us back up to where we were. Brings up an interesting Ship of Theseus issue that I was thinking about, though, afterward, because when you think about it, so Egg Bomb the Third did not go through the battles that you all saw, yet is on our team, and Egg Bomb the Second is just, is gone. He essentially never existed, except for the recording that we have of it. But at least in the theory of our playthrough, or, on the actual save file here, it's like Egg Bomb the Second never existed. So, it's maybe not a Ship of Theseus, but it begs the question of, what is the real playthrough? Is it the YouTube upload, or is it actually the save file that I have? So, any of you aspiring philosophers can think that one over. Maybe you can do it all during this fight if we're going to keep missing. It really ticks me off when a move called Double Slap hits more than 2 times, especially when it hits 5 times. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're not playing around. Sure. This is the entire reason why we have a whole move slot dedicated toward this move. Thank you, Mac. Now, Booster, let's see what you can do. Booster is an enigma. Man. Booster shows up for... Booster's like Allen Iverson, right now, and Booster's just like, like practice. He only shows up for the games. Alright. So this is a nice little maze route here. I think we can get all the way through it without having cut. Let's see. Ooh, let's switch here. You know what? Let's put in Egg Bomb the Third. I do like how regal it sounds, though. Egg Bomb the Third. I'm sure one day when I'm going back through my Pokemon home, I'll be reminded when I see Egg Bomb the Third in there of everything I went through. I was thinking to myself, should I have recorded all of it? But I just think, and maybe like one day released it just for myself. I think it would have been something just for myself. Maybe I would have put it up, but who cares? I just think it would have been me sitting there in silence, grinding it out. I also wanted to do it before my fiance got back from work. And I think I just wanted to run through real quick. I think she has a Pidgey, Meowth, Pidgey, Pidgeotto. Let's see. Looks like it. She's actually the last junior trainer on this route, so... Okay, maybe we should stick with quick attack. I know it's not stab. Oh, actually... Alright, then let's switch booster out. It is nice to just march through, even if it's a meow. Hate to do it. Alright, let's do another serve. I know this is going to be a longer episode, but I really wanted to get through both of these gyms. I guess 2 long episodes in a row with Self and with these 2 gyms. I also just thought it would be funny to do 2 gym battles in an episode after having a few episodes in a row without them. Just something cool to look back on. Because I don't think I'll do this order of gyms the same way again. I think maybe next time I'll do it a little different. Got a few bird keepers on this route too, so I always wondered if there was a way that you could soft lock yourself on this route. I'll show you all how. I'm gonna save before I do it because I don't want to soft lock this. That would probably cause me to delete my channel forever and never come back. But yeah, I'll show you where I think it has to do with this bird keeper, actually. It's good to get these few levels, though. Like I said, so we have... So Kanto goes up to level 43. And then we have... Blaine, who is... level 47 he goes up to. Funny about Blaine coming up to. Really strange, but I saw my parents yesterday, and my mom gave me a bunch of old pictures from when I was a kid. Yeah, there were maybe 100 pictures. A few of them with me with Pokemon. I'm talking about like little kid. Like kindergarten-ish. Kindergarten, first, second grade. And I found a picture of me with a kid in my class whose name was Blaine, and he's wearing a Pokemon t-shirt in the picture. Which I thought was like so funny. I was like, wow, that picture comes up. I'm playing through Gen 1. His name is a gym leader's name. So this is the part where I think you can get soft locked. Is if you can go, oh no, actually, you can't. I thought this was a dead end, but apparently not. Maybe there is a way. I swore that there's a way you could maybe get soft locked here. there's only 2 more trainers. Well, this guy and then 1 other trainer. On this route, I should say, not in the entire game. But anyway, so we were saying, so Blaine goes up to level 47, and then Giovanni gets up to level 50. Which is not terrible for us right now, because we're pretty strong against this Pokemon, but I would just like to have a bit more room. Especially when you look at the, I can't believe we saw Poison Sting on Mama. This is, I mean, that's a stone evolution for you in Gen 1. Yeah, once you get to the Elite Four, you're looking at level 50, Lorelei's strongest, 56, and 58, and 60, 62, and then, yeah, your rival gets up to 65, man. We're pretty far from that. But I have faith. Okay. Huh, did I miss a bird keeper before? Maybe I did. But yeah, this guy I think it just has a Pidgey and Pidgeotto. Huh, I must have missed him earlier. So I was right then when I said there were only 2 more. Okay. So here's Furo. I got a little distracted there looking at the, some of my, some of the battles that are coming up. Try not to get worried about our leveling. I guess that silence there shows you I'm probably not ready for the big time to start live streaming. But hey, apparently some YouTubers make it pretty big, or can get pretty good money from doing it. I am not there yet. I don't think I would ever get there or want to be there. You know, I do like my lifestyle, I like my job, I like everything that, you know, this is just for fun. But I'm always amazed by the number of people who can make it into a career. I used to look at it and I would see, like, alright, some people have, like, a couple million subscribers. It's like, okay, I can see how they can make a career off this, or a living, I should say. And then I would see some people who have, like, you know, 40,000 subscribers and get, like, you know, a couple, you know, tens of thousands of views per video. And I was like, really? They can quit their job and become a full-time YouTuber? And I used to think that that was small. And now I'm sitting here and I have 6 subscribers at this point. You know? So I'm starting to realize I still don't know if it could become a career, but I still have doubts that it could even become a career or that it would become anything worthwhile. And even if it did, that I would do anything with it. But I do, you know, I don't know, I just think it's really, really interesting. Yeah, you know, I want to see what Egg Bomb can do. Okay, nice. Okay, we still have a long way to go until we hit saffron or fuchsia. But let's keep Ekbom in here. I want to just power our way through. I have the time, and why not? Okay, I'm glad the mirror move was able to fail there. Okay. So we have a lot of battles coming up here, folks. For any of you who are about ready to fall asleep. Is a biker here? Okay. Good thing we still have some psychics left in our tank. And a gross muck next. Yeah, I definitely want to... Actually... We could push fuchsia. I think we could push fuchsia an episode. Yeah, maybe we will do that. Maybe... Okay, let's do this. Oh, this is the first time we have Farfetch'd. I'll save my thought until after we do this. So Farfetch'd, for those of you who don't know, 1, fetching sprite. 2, it's based on an old Japanese proverb that is about be careful what you see, or what you might wish for, right? You should say. The proverb is about being wary of a duck carrying its own leek. And what it means is that you typically, in Japanese culture, you prepare ducks with a leek. And so the saying is that, be wary of something that looks too good to be true. So, you want to be wary of the duck that is carrying the vegetables you're going to steam it with. Now, I think it's funny that they made an entire meme Pokemon about that. That's pretty good to me. Yeah, let's switch. But yeah, that's the whole meaning behind Farfetch'd. And then all of a sudden, Farfetch'd got an evolution, and now we have Surfetch'd. Surfetch'd is great. I actually used a Surfetch'd in my most recent playthrough of Pokemon Sword. I've also been thinking about, with these playthroughs, playing through the version that I've never played before. So, I know I said in the beginning of this playthrough that I remember playing Blue a lot. That's also because I still had my copy of Pokemon Red. I don't have it, but for a while I had it. And that's why I remember playing through a ton. And they would require me to play through games that I've really never touched, or versions that I've never touched. So, that's been something I've been mulling over for some future games. So what I was going to say earlier about our plan is, maybe my plan will be, as soon as we gotta go heal, I'll call an episode. But I don't know, it's looking like all these guys are going to want to do everything in their power to not make that the case. Yeah, we can't go up there, but we can fight this guy, I believe. Yeah, what I was realizing was I initially had routes 12, 13, 14, 15 as its own episode planned, or its own block. And we're kind of doing that all in one episode now. So maybe we do break it up, and yeah, this will be a bit of a longer one, but maybe the next one will be a bit shorter then, because I would plan for that just to be fuchsia. Then I could do fuchsia and some of heading to Blaine. Because right now, the way that I have it planned out is doing the sea routes and all of Blaine, or the sea routes and Seafoam Islands all in one episode, and that might be a bit long. I'm also just keeping Meowia into exhaust body slam, and then we'll have Payday. Oh. Yeah, but by going back to heal, it's not like we need Meowia to take anyone out. He's more of a nice to have than necessary to have. Not in my heart, but in our team composition. And just for that, he wants to prove his mettle and stay as a Meowth for just a tiny bit more, just to prove himself up, prove me wrong, that he is necessary and mandatory. But let's keep going until the Pokemon in front who we're training faints. Alright, Mac, let's see what you can do here. Probably a lot, given this guy's got some good number of birds. Okay. Let's just hope you're faster. Nice. Way to go, Mac. Okay. The bird keeper knew it. Knew we were gonna destroy him. Oh, you're a little cutie. Well, thank you. I know I'm gonna have trouble falling asleep tonight. It's currently only about 9:30. That's really 8:30 normal time because today was daylight savings. So I don't want to screw up my sleep or force people. What in the world is this? Oh my god. That is terrible. I don't even know what Wigglytuff is supposed to be here. Those eyes are... Maybe that's how Wigglytuff always is, and it's just the black and white, but it looks horrifying. Who wants to take bets? Oh, alright. So I say, who wants to take bets that Double Slap will do more damage than hit twice? Oh man, Mac. Come on, this isn't vacation. I thought the last time was 5. Okay, come on. Yeah, just had to get another Double Slap in, right? This one's gonna go for 5, I bet. Yeah, I'm sure it can hear me. Oh, there we go. Let's just use the Thunderbolt, get out of here. I know we could probably survive with a Swift going on, but I'm not dealing with that. Okay. You look gentle, so I think I can beat you. Oh, thank you. Okay, let's do Swift. Nice, Mac. Okay, Raichu on Raichu. Great sprite, I think at least. I think we can tank that. Nice. Very good, Mac. Raichu's tail, to me, is cool, too. I think Raichu's really cool. Does not get as much love for being a Pikachu evolution, but I think Raichu is awesome. Especially after this playthrough, I'm really starting to grow fond. Alright, is this a biker, too? Yeah. Alright, let's do Swift. Don't think we want to use our last Thunderbolt on this guy. Well, that could be the nail in the coffin for Mac. Or what ends up being... Oh! I'm telling you, the guys, and potentially girls, want to make it all the way in this episode. They want to make it to Fuchsia. They don't want us to have to come back out. Well, I don't know. It would be pretty fitting if Booster's the one who calls it quits. That would be par for course. Okay. What I'm starting to think, though, is that will Booster even make it to level 54 to get Flamethrower by the time we need it? Okay. Can you survive Sludge? Alright, nice. A good little quick attack here. Okay, let's try an Ember. Booster. Nice. You know what? Let's see if we have an item. Let's see if we let's see if we can heal Booster. At this point, should we use the Force? Let's use the Max Potion, man. You know, let's just do it for the bit. Booster's not gonna to a break that easy. One thing I liked about, or do like about Pokemon Go, Grimer makes me think of this, is I love being able to catch a Pokemon somewhere random and name it after that place. I do love that. I thought about that because when Pokemon Go first came out, I remember I was living in New Jersey at the time, and when it started, you could only get Kanto Pokemon. It wasn't until around like that January or February, I think it was February of 2017, that they released Gen 2 into Pokemon Go. Which is another funny story that I'll save. But one of the reasons that Grimer makes me think of catching Pokemon in weird places was that you could only catch, and I think it's still the case, like certain Pokemon in certain types of areas and all. And Coughing's Grimers, you know, sludge-type Pokemon were found in cities. And I remember, you know, I had moved out of I lived in the city for college, but I had moved out to start my job. But I came back to the city right around the time, around October or so, when Pokemon Go was still, well, still big for me. I don't know if it was big for everyone else still, but it was still big for me. And I remember I went to a bar with my friends. I went to the bathroom, and I decided to pull out Pokemon Go and I found a Grimer. And I was so excited because I was like, whoa, I never see these around me. And I saw that Grimer to this day in Pokemon Go. He's one of the ones who I won't take out of it. Maybe one day I will, but I still have some really strong Pokemon, or some Pokemon that I have strong affinity toward in Pokemon Go that I won't transfer out. Anyway, the reason I remember when they released Gen 2 was my brother was getting married and I was in 2017, in end of February, and I remember sitting in the airport to go fly out for his wedding, and Booster, you're not going to be the reason we go back. And I remember catching a Chikorita in the airport, and it was because that was right when they had released Gen 2. That was a fun trip. I actually caught a Corsola because his wedding was in Mexico. And I didn't realize this at the time, but Corsola was one of those Pokemon that you could only catch in, I think, the southern hemisphere, or not the southern hemisphere, but in, outside the US. And might still be that way, but yeah, I still have that Corsola. I still have a good number of Pokemon that you can only find or that show that I caught them in Mexico. You know what? I think we're boosting. That is a terrifying sound for Acid. And Gloom also just a crazy sprite. That is horrifying, but okay. Let's keep Booster in. I mean, at this point, I think we're staying out. Booster does not want to go home. I think I have underestimated you, Booster. Maybe you just weren't given a chance. Booster does not want to go anywhere. Alright, yeah, we actually don't have to even switch up our team. You can really see the differences in trainers now with those two sprites next to each other. They're just a little bit different. The overworld sprites, I should say. Obviously, the sprite here is different. I don't know if Booster can survive this, so let's do a dig, because it'll do pretty good damage with it being a poison type. Oh, I didn't even realize it would be super effective. Okay. And you know what? Yeah, let's keep Squirt out. Some of those ones are really tough. You're trying to remember when you have dual moves, what's super effective, what's not. Like, I think Grounded just is neutral effect against Grass. But you never really encounter that because you're always going to switch your ground type out against a Grass because Grass is strong to ground. So, oh, his birds are shivering. Okay. Well, let's make sure we can warm them up for him. Could just call Booster over. Alright. Gonna hit another sword. I love when they go down in one hit. Let's not get cute. Very nice. Yep, then let's take it out again. Excellent. Alright. There's still just a few more trainers on this route. A lot of bird catchers. Or bird keepers. Which, why do they even have a mohawk? I've never really understood that. Maybe it's supposed to protect the image, or who knows. Alright. Hey look, we said we would go back when the guy we're training is fainted. Or the guy we need to train next is fainted, and the team stepped up to the challenge. They said, no, we need levels. Alright. Why do I get the feeling like Body Slam would have taken it out? And now we're going to get screwed for that. What a great animation for Swords Dance. That would have been... Oh, man. Come on. There we go, mama. Yeah, because I'm not dealing with that. Let's just put Mac in for one, and then we can switch Mama back in. Our guys are going to be hobbled, like, literally on our last leg going into Fuchsia. But hey, every single one of them has risen to the challenge here. Good work. Okay, Squirt, let's put you... And now I think this is our last trainer. We can come back and go up in the area where we can use Cut, but I think right now... And now that we know that Earthquake is super effective, ground moves are super effective, let's just use that. Then next time we'll do Fuchsia. But this really was an impressive gauntlet from the team. Really impressive stuff. I gotta tell you, I usually get pretty connected, but I'm feeling more connected to this team. Maybe because I'm talking it through and taking it slow, but I'm really feeling connected with these guys. Every single one of them. Okay, I know this isn't super effective, but... Oh, not very effective. Okay, so now... So, alright, you see my conundrum of why does the poison typing for grass poison override the grass not very effectiveness? That's what I don't get sometimes. Because sometimes it just makes it even, sometimes it's still super effective, I don't get it. But anyway, one thing I do get is that our team is full of powerhouses. And these guys did not want to... They did not want to go home. So I think now that we're in Fuchsia City, now would be a good time to say thank you for joining. And next time we will take on the Fuchsia City Gym. And don't forget to come back for our next episode.